Hey guys, welcome back. So a lot of you guys have been asking me how we like living in Vegas, how have things been since we moved to Vegas, what is this Vegas life really been all about? And if I'm being perfectly honest, I feel like I don't have anything super extra special to report, but here's why. First of all, we're going to talk about the things that I do like about living here in Vegas and how some of the shifting and changing and adapting has happened since we've been here. So let's get into it. Okay, so if you are new here or if this is your first time ever stopping by this channel, hey, what's up? My name is Addie, and so we recently moved to Vegas, and I feel like when I say recently, it literally feels like we've been here for just a short amount of time. If I'm being perfectly honest, as I'm talking right now, I feel like we just moved here, and I still tell people that, oh, we just moved to Vegas. But the fact is, guys, it's September, which means it's the 9th month of the year, which means we have been here for 9 months. Like, legit 2021 is almost over. How do we like it so far? So far we've gone through a couple of different seasons here. We've been here long enough to be able to say totally we're liking it or no, we're not liking it. I really feel like when you move somewhere, a part of your experience definitely becomes location, where exactly you are in the space that you're, because it can make a world of a difference where you are. So we live in sort of like central Las Vegas, I guess. We're about 6 miles or so from the Strip. So we're kind of centrally located around literally everything. And it's crazy because it seems to take about 20 minutes to get almost everywhere within the area. But now that I'm here, some stuff that is actually like super close, I'm like, oh, you live all the way on the other side of town, or which is like, no freaking way, okay, guys. I lived in a small little city, not super small, but a fairly small city in like Riverside County, which is like Southern California. And to go anywhere fun, to do anything worth it, to get to the good restaurants, to get to any entertainment or anything like that, you literally had to go into, at the furthest, Ontario, but you had to go all the way to LA. So that was going all the way to the other side of town. But anyways, we got here in winter. Our first couple of I don't even want to say weeks, probably within the first week or two that we got here, we actually got to experience some snow, which was a little bit unusual for the desert, but it was pretty cool to wake up. It was super cold. It was really cold when we got here. The nights here in Las Vegas in the winter time seem to get down pretty low. And I know if you live on the East Coast or if you live other places where it snows or where you happen to get super cold winters, for a desert, and I'm a Cali girl, so it definitely doesn't really get that cold out there either where I used to live. But for a Cali girl, 30 degrees at night is it's damn freezing, okay? And so it was getting pretty cold at night. We definitely needed jackets. I feel like in the jacket department, I don't know that we were all the way prepared like the little kids were. They had big jackets, but I had sweaters and stuff, so I didn't actually go out and buy a jacket, but I think for this winter, I might need to. A little story. When we first got here, so there was 6 police that came down our street and they started blocking off the other streets in the area, and I was like, what the heck is going on, right? So of course, that nosy neighbor, I'm peeking through the blinds out of the window, trying to see what's going on. And so all of these neighbors are coming outside. The next door neighbors were outside, people from down the street were outside. They were all coming to gather. So I open my front door and I can hear, it's a older couple that we live next door to. I think they're a couple. I really don't know. But it's an older man and woman that we live next door to. And so the lady's outside and I hear her go, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I think it's down there at the crazy house. And I was like, we live by the crazy house? Oh God. Oh God, my first thought was where the do we live? I'm being nosy, I'm outside, so I didn't actually go to the neighbor. Sean was like, you didn't ask them what was going on? He's like, I would have been like, hi, I'm just new to the neighborhood. You mentioned a crazy house. So the police that were down the street, they ended up firing off, I guess, like, I forget what the guy called them, but they were like rounds to scare if there was anybody inside the house. I guess it would have like scared them out, but I don't know that they were live rounds, or maybe they fired them in the air. I'm not really sure, but they were some kind of like fake ass rounds that the police fired off, to which everybody seemed to know what those were except for me. I'm like, when we heard, so it's me and Samaya, I think, that were outside. When we heard the noise, we were like, no. And we like took off and went inside the house. It sounded like gunshots, you know? And so we came inside the house. But I'm looking out the window, I'm thinking, okay, how come nobody else, like everybody else is still just standing outside? And I'm not even gonna lie, like my first thought was like, is that some white people stuff? Because I went in the house. But anyways, needless to say, no, it was just the simple fact that there was nothing to be worried about. Anyways, nothing else has happened at that house since that particular incident, but it was super crazy. Like, okay, where did we actually just move to? But no, the neighborhood that we live in is nice. I actually love the area. We are right near a lot of different things, so I find a lot of convenience where we are. And then y'all know I'm a homebody, so outside of just being at home every day and working from home, and you know, we try to go out and find like little stuff to do. We've had a few staycations. If you follow us on Instagram, you've probably seen we went and did Mandalay Bay, and then we did MGM. We did some little place on Fremont Street that I can't remember the name of, but we're finding little places to go, finding new restaurants to try. I do have a video of when we tried Lobster Me, and it's in edit mode right now, but I will post that up soon. It's this place inside Planet Hollywood, super good, that I wanted to try. And so we've just been doing little stuff here and there. What I will say is, while you can live here and afford to live here and survive here, I don't want to say off of not too much, but you know, maybe less expensive than living in California. If you want to do things, and if you want to be a part of the life that's going on Las Vegas Boulevard, you definitely better have some funds. You got to participate. And then one of my friends, when I got here, also said, you know, people come here a lot, it's a tourist city, and so what they don't realize is that when they come in, you're not on vacation every single time. And it's kind of true. It seems like almost every other weekend since we've been here, someone that you know, right, is on their way to Vegas. And so not everyone tries to connect and hook up, but it's kind of like, you know, you make those arrangements. Oh, we're coming to Vegas. Oh, okay, let's, you know, plan to do something. And then a week later, somebody's like, hey, we're gonna be in Vegas. And it's like, hey, I can be going out every single weekend. So, and not that that's been a problem or anything, like we really don't have that many friends and visitors that come in and out, but that try to connect with us, that we're gonna go meet up with them. But there has just been, over the last few months, a lot of activity with that. Another good thing that I like I said, so the restaurants, there's so many places to eat. The options are like crazy endless. It's kind of like I feel like being like in LA or being in big city, because there's a lot to choose from. And what I do like is there's plenty of like vegan options, vegetarian options. There's a lot of Thai food around where I live, and a lot of the Chinese food places seem like they're more like restaurant style, like sit-in, as opposed to like more takeout, which has been a little like kind of here and there, just given like COVID and mask regulations, and then not knowing this, and you know, some places haven't fully like opened while others have. But I'm a foodie. I love food. It's my favorite pastime. Like if I were coming to Vegas on a trip, my money would be spent in the buffets and at the restaurants and on stuff that's about to give me like simple pleasure, rather than like at the table games, if I'm just being honest. What don't we like about living here? What don't I like about living here? So honestly, like I feel like the only thing I'll say about living here is just that it's so, and I don't even want to say so far, but it's far away from our family and friends. And it's interesting because it isn't like we connected and did things all the time, but it seems like now that when things do happen, we're not always readily available to be there. Like, we have to make a whole plan to pack up the whole family and get to California, and then, you know, are we gonna stay with people? Are we gonna just, you know, get hotels and stay on our own? So us going out for something simple just becomes like a whole trip, you know. It's more of like a bigger situation, and it costs more money. The weather sucks. I know I told you guys already that I felt like the sun like literally hits different here in this desert than it did in California. I don't know if it's brighter, if it's stronger, if it beams harder, if the sky is just not covered in 52 million pounds of fog, and like, I'm not really sure. But that sun hits very differently. And where we lived in California is deserty. It's like almost on the way to Palm Springs. It gets hot. It gets hot in the valley. I'm used to 102, 103, even 105 degree summers. I mean, there was one summer it was like 118 degrees. It was literally crazy. And this was back in California. So it isn't like I'm not used to the heat. I know what it feels like to be in the hot, but something about just the dreaded, awful 100, and I mean, we had heat wave of like 115 going on, 112, 110 for like several days here, and it was just like no relief, zero relief. I don't like that shit at all. I'm the type of person that's literally like, I would much rather be cold than hot any day, all day, because you can snuggle, you can do so many things to yourself, right, to warm up, but hot is just hot, and this heat ain't it. So we're in September, it is still hot. It's actually like over 100 today. It was 106 yesterday. So I'm just ready for some kind of fall relief. That would be nice. Overall, I mean, we actually enjoy living here. Like I said, I feel like people think that the energy of Las Vegas is gonna be like wild and crazy, and it really only is if you take yourself out into those environments. There is one street in Las Vegas Boulevard, which goes all the way down, I think, to downtown, where it splits off somewhere, and then you have Fremont Street, the Fremont Street experience. And those two streets can get pretty wild. Yes, it's Sin City, it's sexy. There are women walking around with pasties and big feathers and shit on, asking whole families if they want to take pictures with them. I mean, there's a lot that goes on here. And so, but living here and being in your home and in your community, it's not being out there on the strip. So the entire city, the entire county is not like what you see out on the strip. As far as crime and stuff like that, I haven't really done a whole lot of research. When we looked into the area where we were gonna live and stuff, yes, North Las Vegas seems to be the spot that everybody is saying stay away from. And apparently when we got here, somebody told us that there was a such thing called like the murder triangle, which I feel like Hobby Lobby is over there. Good thing there's more than one Hobby Lobby though, and so I don't have to go to the murder circle just to get to Hobby Lobby to get my little crafts. That is it. We haven't really experienced anything bad in our neighborhood. It's actually quiet. When we got into our neighborhood, I was like, we're gonna be the loudest ones on the block. We're gonna get kicked out. But all of that has been fine. So the kids started school in August. I'm kind of in limbo on if I'm going to keep them in the public school system or if I'm going to pull them out. I really wanted to pull them out, and honestly, it was just really, there's no excuse why they're back in public school. However, so far, even with them just going to school, the schools seem okay. I joined like the district page on Facebook or something, and these parents and people are like vicious. I'm like, this is why I don't do Facebook. So far, so good. Our schools are in pretty close proximity. Penelope's in kindergarten, Preston's in first grade, and that's all been going so good. I haven't met any people like outside of work, so we don't really have any friends or anything. And like I said, everybody is kind of like quiet here and into their houses, so I don't really know any of our neighbors. There's a community park really close to the house where a lot of people go to walk their dogs and stuff, and people are really friendly. Everybody's, you know, it says hi, and we're all kind of neighborly, but there hasn't really been a ton of interaction, and I feel like we're kind of in like this community where there's a lot of older people, to which Las Vegas has a lot of older population anyway, but yeah. One thing I really like is the houses here. Like, they're not so many tract homes. There are like on certain areas, but I like the area that we live in where it's kind of like you can see one house that looks completely one way, and the house right next door could be a mansion, and then the house next door, you know, takes up the whole lot or something. So just the architecture in some of the homes has really been some of my favorite. And so I was telling Sean, I'm like, I want to do a little series where we go around and like drive around to some of like the coolest looking houses out here, because there's some really dope houses, and I'm like, people probably don't even know like houses like this exist in Vegas. I didn't, so that's kind of cool. But so pretty much, I mean, on a scale of like, you know, 1 to 10, we're sitting on an 8 right now. I really don't have too many complaints. I don't know if I just haven't been here long enough, if I don't get out enough. But so far, so good. So far, I'm just enjoying what's going on, and I'm hoping that we're able to continue to experience Las Vegas in the way that we're able to do it right now. Hopefully there's no more shutdowns and, you know, all that stuff, but we'll see what's coming. I hope that answers some of you guys' questions so far. If you have more specific questions, by all means, please ask and let me know. But I mean, as far as just being here, I like it. I'm enjoying it. I'm just adapting and learning and finding my way around. I know how to get around town now, and it's really easy to travel through, and there's a lot of little hidden gems and stuff that every time I go somewhere I see something new. So so far so good. So I will see you guys in the next video, and we'll chat about something else. I probably have a little story time for you guys. I feel like I've never done a story time, maybe like 1 or 2, but we'll see. We'll get into some stories about what's been going on out here, and I'll catch you guys next time. Drop me a comment below, make the wavy emoji, say hi. Don't forget to head over and give us a follow on TikTok for mini vlogs daily. Well, as daily as I can get them. They're like 1 day offset. And I will see you guys in the next video.